It's time for another daily edition of Litter Media Live. Welcome to the studio. I'm Dan Ramey. He's the icon, Mike Smith. And Mr. Hand 2 is off to my left, as you can tell, right there. On the right of your screen. Look at that lovely winter background. Mm-hmm. It's much what it looks like today. Yeah. Only we don't have a lot of, I think that's Yoctangee Park Lake, if I'm not, it's not frozen over. But if it stays like this, it might get there eventually, huh?
Well, we had some schools that were on delay this morning. Not all of them in the area, but several. So.
Yes. It started snowing last night. We wrapped up our church service around 9 o'clock last night. And when I got out there was almost a half inch of snow on my car. Yeah. I'm like, where did this come from? So,
well, they had what they call snow squalls that came in on 71, 35 in Fayette County, and visibility was practically nothing there for a while. So
I did see a Facebook post last night from someone saying, did anyone else see the thunder snow? And he said, I actually saw lightning in this as well.
It's rare, but it's out there from time to time.
But, yeah, the temperature on my dashboard said 32 during all that, so I thought, yeah, it's right at that borderline if it could be rain or it could be snow, and it came down as snow.
Yes.
Coming up in a moment to look at news, we've got sports and this date in history for you today, so stick close for all that. But first, let's see how the weather is shaping up for us. It looks windy outside.
Yeah, a pretty day, but pretty crisp. Sunshine today with a high of about 32, mostly cloudy, 36 for tomorrow. Then we warm up for the weekend, but along with it comes some rain. 48 on Saturday, 54 Monday and Tuesday, but we're looking for that possibility of rain not only on the weekend, but maybe even Monday and Tuesday.
Santa, Rock for Tots, and more, all just ahead. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to call. If you have the need for a dumpster for residential or your business, give this call, 740-253-8389. They'll take care of you. Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. News for you. We could always find that available on our website, littermedia.com. We just had a story come in to us for sports that we'll get to here shortly, but it won't be up on littermedia.com just yet. But we use our social media for a lot of things, so follow along if you'd like to. And we start with
Rock for Tots. We told you on Monday that there would be a number coming out, and they finally came out with it. The grand total for the 2024 concert and auction, $53,277.98. Our buddy Paul Pollard says checks are already starting to go out to the area kids organizations that benefit from these funds. And Rock for Tots wanted to thank everyone who played in the concert, volunteered, attended, donated, bought at the auction, and all of the children's organizations that they support. Thank you, community, for helping needy kids again this year through Rock for Tots. In a similar note, Circleville Fire Department is hosting a donation drive-through for Toys for Tots. That is this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, isn't this associated with the Marine Corps?
Usually is.
Toys for Tots?
Yeah.
I think that's their national campaign for Christmas time. But Circleville Fire Department, they're at the station house. That's this Saturday, 11 to 1. Bring in a new toy for kids to benefit.
Earlier, probably 2 weeks ago, I reached out to Pixelle about the installation and assembly of Santa and his sleigh with his reindeer up over the conveyor belt above South Bridge Street. Well, received word back from them when the mayor was here for his interview, and they said, we've decided not to put it on the conveyor belt because they got a late start. Winds were too strong to be able to, for them to safely put people up there and put the Santa. So you'll find Santa in Yoctangee Park, and it's right there at the south entrance to the park. Now, it made its debut 2 years ago on the other side of Enderlin Circle, but this is now over closer to the cabooses. So if you have not seen it yet, you can see it up close and in person as opposed to 100 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get there and see that. Good to see it. Also in our Facebook link that you'll find with those photos, you'll find the YouTube interviews we did with Jared Depew, who designed that with his sign company, and also last year when the workers put it up on the conveyor belt. And so you can take a look at those on our Facebook page.
Yes, sir. Lisa Cutler of Elizabeth's Hope Pregnancy Center was our special edition guest yesterday. She talked about how they counsel moms to be on the options for unexpected pregnancies and talked about the number of clients that choose life after seeing the ultrasounds of their unborn child.
So the majority, usually about 98% choose to go ahead and carry or place for adoption. The majority will carry and parent. Adoption, fortunately, even though it's a great option, especially if they don't feel that they are ready or equipped, there's plenty of families out there that are waiting to adopt a baby because they can't have a child. And so it's a great option, but a lot of times they'll decide to carry and parent. Honestly, that when you see on an ultrasound and you can visually see that it's not a blob of tissue and that there's really is life there, then it kind of counteracts that narrative that it's not.
Lisa was talking also about their new, of course, there's several counties that they have offices in, but the one at the 70 Central Center, they said they have more than doubled the number of clients that have come into their new office because it's so much more visible and more client-friendly, if you will.
And the one in Waverly is now across from the Sheriff's Department,
right?
Which, if you don't know where the Sheriff's Department is, it's on Route 23 north of Waverly, so you'll be able to find that there. Smokey Bear and the Ohio Department of Resources. Look at this. I mean, doesn't that look like a picture? I mean, like a photo, but it is the work of Robert Dafford. Robert's been involved with the floodwall down in Portsmouth, and that's where you'll be able to find this. They had the ribbon cutting for this, but he's painted all those photos along the floodwall, many on the inside. They have been working on some on the outside of the floodwall as well in recent years, but he's been doing this since 1993. George Clayton, we know George Clayton Jr., George's dad, George Clayton Sr., was involved in getting these murals put together back in 1993. So 55 murals they have now that fill the well-known wall, the flood wall down along the Ohio River. If you've not been there, get down and see it. It's amazing. Some of them are so lifelike that there's a cat that is painted in the corner of whatever utility department it is that they have for the flood wall. It extends out from the flood wall, and this cat is sitting there. And I thought it was a real cat, but it's a painting. And so if you've never been down, it's worthwhile going down. They've got a nice section dedicated to athletes of Portsmouth in Ohio as well. And if you've never been over to the Kentucky side and you start coming back, there is a wall of fame that is down the outside of that wall as well, and these stars that are right there. So it's well worth the trip to Portsmouth. Of course, this time of the year, they've got all their holiday stuff out too. You want to make sure you check that out. But Smokey Bear, now permanently on the flood wall. Ohio's crisp winter months approach. They're already here. The Ohio Division of Parks and Watercraft is reminding everyone to prioritize safety while exploring the state's stunning waterways. With colder weather comes added risks, making preparation for awareness essential for safe and enjoyable outdoor experiences. Just because it looks like it's frozen and you can go skating on it, chances are it's not. So pay attention to the signs that are around some of these waterways as well. Water colder than 98.6 degrees, the body's average temperature, accelerates heat loss, significantly increasing the risk of hypothermia. We have so much waterway to deal with here in Ross County with Paint Creek and Salt Creek, all those creeks that you get out and kayak on and everything. But even when you get to this time of the year, it's even more perilous. Perilous? Is that the word?
Sounds right.
There's much more peril involved when you get involved with the colder temperatures. So make sure you wear a wetsuit. I've never worn one, but if you have to be out in the water, chances are you've got one.
Did you see Dan in a wetsuit?
No.
He looked like a seal.
Form-fitting. A seal that ate something.
Yeah. Thinking back, I came on board to Litter Media 4 years ago this January, and it was in February of that year when we had that tragic loss. A young boy drowned, broke through the ice, and then the ranger that was trying to help him, he died of a medical emergency. So going to the point of you got to be careful because what looks like it might be okay to walk out on might not be. So.
And I remember as a kid growing up along the Scioto River up in Pickaway County, there were areas that you'd go down and take a look at the water, or maybe we had extra heavy rain or snow melt, and it would bring the river up. And if you were back along wherever that was, you'd see little pockets that were frozen over and had snow on top of them. It was actually a little giant mud hole from that water. So you have to be careful if you're out hunting or doing anything or just taking a stroll. Do proceed, but with caution.
That's our topics for today.
No road report today. We can tell you they were a little icy this morning. Yeah. And that's another thing, going back to the temperature. This morning's temperature was 22 as I was coming into work, but you couldn't tell if it was wet roadway or if it was frozen. So, again,
Black
exhibit
ice.
Competition. Yep. Precisely. And it looks even blacker with that new pavement they have down for 772. All right, coming up, a look at sports for you. And this date in history, we go back to
1980.
Not too long ago for some of us. Right now, let's tell you about our friends at Haynes Total Healthcare Center. Chiropractic, physical therapy, and nutritional needs. They've been doing this for 50 years now. You know, they're in the top 1% of chiropractic offices in the nation.
Wow, that's great.
In the nation. You can find out more when you go to their website, which is hayneshealth.com. If you forget that, just click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you right there. hayneshealth.com.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Life, it can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Time for sports, and we begin with more All-Ohio football.
Well, this will be the last round for us because Division I comes out later today, and we have nobody within 100 miles of us that is a Division I school. So, Ohio Press Sports Writers Association named their Division II and III All-Ohio football teams yesterday. First-team selections included Tristan Graham of Taze Valley, Nolan Johnson of Jackson, Ethan Thanthanavong of Bloom Carroll, and Owen Thompson of Warren. Now, there are a number of other area players that were a second team, third team, and honorable mention. You can find all of that list on our website story at littermedia.com. Some high school scores from last night. Girls SVC basketball. Piketon knocked off Adina 33-31. Uniota Lady Shermans continue to roll. They beat up on Zane Trace 76-15. Huntington 46-30 over Paint Valley, and Westfall beat Southeastern 44-30. Girls FAC action, a big battle of leaders. McLean over Miami Trace 45-36. Washington 43-27 over Chillicothe, and Hillsborough beat Jackson. Hillsborough is among the girls' leaders right now in the conference, 56-33 in that final. MSL Cardinal, Fisher Catholic beat up on Byrne Union. Non-conference action, Fairfield Union girls and boys. They're tough. Both of them are tough this year. The Lady Falcons beat Taze Valley 52-39 last night. Hamilton Township, Notre Dame, Sheridan, and South Gallia, along with Chesapeake, were all victorious.
Told you that we had a late-breaking news story pop in. Well, here it is. It is the Chillicothe Paint's schedule for 2025. It was released just shortly after we took the air here. Paints will open up May 27th at Johnstown, and then their first two home games will be against the Terre Haute Rex. Rex Baseball, I think is what they go by now. Thursday and Friday, May 29th and 30th. But again, all those red dates you see right there will be home dates for Chillicothe Paints baseball. Now, this, I think, is new. I don't recall the Prospect League having an all-star game the last couple of years, but they've got one scheduled for July 8th this coming summer. So looking forward to that. Congratulations to the Pioneer, Prospect League getting underway. All right, this week's Litter Media Games of the Week. Yes, we say games. Friday, that's tomorrow, Hillsborough at Chillicothe. Saturday, Circleville at Logan Elm. And we'll have coverage tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock or thereabouts as we get ready for the floor dedication to the name of one Thomas M. Cuppett. And also, Saturday afternoon, we will start about 2:15 or so. Approximately, I would imagine that's when it'll start because the first game, I think, begins at 1. So that's the JV contest. And we'll have it all for you on Litter Media Radio with Mike Smith and PJ Daly. In other sports. Next slide, please. Wright State, an 88-79 winner over Marshall. 4 Raiders finished in double-digit scoring, led by Chillicothe's Brandon Knoll. He had a game-high 21 points for the Raiders.
He also had 10 rebounds for a double-double. Westfall High School grad Marissa Mullins and her Indiana Wesleyan University teammates have defended their NAIA Volleyball National Championship. They swept through the Final Four at Sioux City this week, but the final was a thriller. They trailed Bellevue 14-8, which was match point, and then the Wildcats rattled off 8 straight points for the victory and the national championship for a second year in a row.
Yeah, they did.
You already know.
Yeah, listen to the old alma mater guy over there.
Where's your Indiana Wesleyan scarf?
I don't have one. This is the only scarf I own.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's a Washington Commanders.
Makes him look like a soccer fan, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
or one of those eccentric guys from the 1970s.
It's not something I would have paid for, but I got it for free.
Oh,
So,
if it's free, it's me. Yeah.
So do you have, for like your cigarettes, do you have one of those big, long plastic?
His grandma just fell off the chair. Cigarettes?
Or a pipe, that kind of thing. Former New England Patriots head coach, former Cleveland Browns head coach, former, for a short period of time, New York Jets head coach, Bill Belichick, hired as the new coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. A 5-year agreement they've made with him. Mm-hmm. He's 72 years old. He replaces 75-year-old Coach Mac
Brown.
Mac Brown, yes. So good luck, Bill, and welcome to Tobacco Road.
I know how he was perceived by the media. I don't know. Obviously, the players got along okay with him. They won, 6 Super Bowls, championships when he was coaching there. Mm-hmm. So let's see if that transfers over.
But if you were deemed no longer useful for a program, you were given the opportunity to go elsewhere. Yeah. I can't wait to see how this is handled, because there he could hang on to a player as long as he wanted to. College, that's not going to happen. He may have some guys that will come there and be there for 1 year and out the next. That's going to be an interesting turnaround, I think, for him, and handling the NIL money.
Well, one of his former assistants, I read yesterday evening, is coming with him as the general manager. When does college start having general managers?
When the NIL money becomes available.
So what their duties will be, I don't know.
It'll be recruitment. It will be lining up sponsorship to get that NIL money for those players. This thing has just gone nuts. It really has.
And that's something else that didn't.
And managing the transfer portal.
And the Ohio legislature is currently looking at a bill to make it possible for Ohio colleges, universities, to pay the NIL money directly. Now, they may go to Joe Brown's car dealership to get the money, but instead of the car dealership paying the athlete directly, the state legislature is trying to make it possible, and if they pass the law, they can do it in Ohio, where that will enable the universities to pay that money directly to the athletes, which I think everybody saw coming anyway.
It's an easier flow, I'm sure, for them, but also the state gets what they need to make sure that it happens.
The one bill that's being considered that is absolutely stupid.
Is this the flag planting law?
That it would make it a felony to plan Now, I think that's poor sportsmanship to do that.
Yeah.
But don't you guys have anything better to do than come up with legislation like this?
Well, and the back door on all that is, if we make it a felony, then suddenly they'll take it a little more seriously, and we don't want to get someone injured in a brawl like what happened this past meeting with Michigan. So
that's a bill that needs to be
It's something NCAA needs to crack down
Let
on.
the conferences and NCAA handle that stuff.
They need to remind these guys there's sportsmanship involved.
What's that?
So precisely. We want to take a moment to say congratulations to Indiana Wesleyan Junior and Westfall graduate Marissa Mullins as our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
Yeah, she had 9 kills and 4 blocks in the championship match, and she was a part of that team last year that was also national champs, and she was an all-tournament team player last year. But it's not very often that you have some local kids that can say, hey, I played on not 1 but 2 national championship
And was it in the Final Four that she got her 1,000th kill?
The semifinal, yeah.
So congratulations to Marissa Mullins. You'll be able to see that on our social media a little bit later on here. In fact, I've got it in a holding pattern right now. All I need to do is push enter, but it's way over
like
there.
A drone.
Yes, it is.
Over New Jersey.
That thing has me my head scratched, because if they are legal drones, then they have the remote ID, and law enforcement can tell who they are. And if they're not, they're being heavily fined by the FAA. Yeah. So I know it's mysterious, them looking at it, but if let's say somebody that says, bada boom, I'm going to shoot that thing out of the New Jersey sky, that is a felony. So you have to be careful with that.
But apparently the FAA doesn't recognize where these are coming from. The FBI says they don't know. The Defense Department says, we know it's not a foreign actor, but we don't know where it came from. Well, then how can you say that it's not a foreign actor?
And I heard somebody describe it as, one of them was like the size of a car.
Yeah.
What?
That's huge.
That's the largest drone I've ever seen. However, there is a commercial for Honda. I don't know if you guys have seen this on TV, where they show what appears to be a drone you can ride in. And it was...
Now that's what I got to get.
John Cena does the vocal for this, and he reads this nice poem about failure. But that's not me today. You know, and it talks about how it's going to go on. And eventually they show the drone actually pick up and take off. And it's huge.
How about that?
Yeah, so who knows what's flying? Maybe it's a test flight for one of those things. Check with Honda.
Yeah.
I think it came from outer space.
You like that better.
I like that theory.
Maybe the world where the time will stand still or something for us again. So, all right, this date in history stood still in 1980. We'll find out why in just a moment.
One of our great sponsors is Litter Quality Propane, online propane monitoring and reporting. Know your home's consumption and gas remaining in the tank. Find out more at litterpropane.com.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Dixie Chopper. Speed when you need it.
Visit your local Dixie Chopper dealer today or visit DixieChopper.com.
818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe, hometown-motors.com. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you've had an issue, no doubt you've probably already reached out to them, but they're here all the time for you. You know, they are in the business of fixing things and making you comfortable in your home. Been doing it for more than 40 years now. Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it'll take you right to AccurateHVAC.com. That's where you'll find the products they offer, the services they provide, and the locations they have, too. So when you call them, and let's say you're in Lucasville, and you might think you're calling the Chillicothe office. Well, there's an office down there that they'll be sending somebody out for you to. So AccurateHVAC.com.
Every time my furnace came on last night, I was thanking God for Accurate. Thank you, Accurate. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. 1980 on this date. American oil tycoon Arm & Hammer pays $5.1 million at auction for a notebook containing writings by the legendary artist Leonardo da Vinci. The manuscript, written around 1508, was one of some 30 similar books da Vinci produced during his lifetime on a variety of subjects. It contains 72 loose pages featuring some 300 notes and detailed drawings, all relating to the common theme of water and how it moved. Sold for $5 million in 1980. What in the world would that be worth today?
Probably $500 million. What drives these rich people to pay for such items? I mean,
did you see the thing about the banana?
Yeah,
with duct tape on it.
Yeah,
and that went for a couple of million at least.
Now that was pop culture,
and then he ate it.
But but to see something like this, is it because you want to preserve it? It's something that needs to be preserved. Is it something you want to add to your portfolio? Were you a big Da Vinci fan? You know,
I'd say for preservation, why not put it in a museum?
Precisely.
Right.
I mean, you take a look at all the things that Glenn Beck has acquired since opening his museum down in Dallas. I mean, he even purchased the set from West Wing, was it? So they could do certain things for election night and so on and so forth, which is almost like the episode of Seinfeld where Kramer has dug out of the dumpster the set for the Merv Griffin show. Or was it Mike Douglas? Maybe it's the Mike Douglas show. And he set it up in his apartment. And when Jerry or one of the main characters walk in, hey, everybody, Jerry's here. He's got cards. He's wearing a suit jacket, the whole deal.
$5 million in 1980 is worth $19,143,992.
Is that
today.
all?
Yes.
Man.
Arm & Hammer. He had a lot of money back in those days.
And it's not the baking soda guy.
No.
We were talking about that earlier, and I thought, Arm & Hammer, where have I seen that? There's an arm and a hammer on a box. Oh, it's the baking soda thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's it for today's program. I am out tomorrow preparing for the ceremonies for Chillicothe High School tomorrow evening, so looking forward to that. And if you've not been to a basketball game or a volleyball game at Hatton Gym yet this fall, you've not seen the signature on there, but it is Thomas M. Cuppet Court. And we'll be acknowledging that. Delberta, his wife, will be there. And, his two sons will be there. Grandsons will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of old-time players that he had 40-plus years ago will be there also. So kind of wish Tom was around to be able to see this, but he would be the first to say, no, don't put my name on there. Don't do that. But I'm sure looking back on it, last time I saw Tom was at Southeastern during a Chillicothe basketball tournament run, and he was so excited about watching that state championship team play because they played defense and they knew how to play offense, and that's what he was all about when he was there. Oh, one special guest that's going to be there. Did you ever go into his office at Hatton Gym?
Mm-hmm.
You see the picture of the guy from Sisterville down in West Virginia?
I think I do recall
one of
that.
his top players, and he had this huge wingspan. He's going to be there tomorrow night, and I remember seeing that picture. But he would tell me a story about him every time I was in there. But I had never met the gentleman, so we'll get a chance to meet him tomorrow night as well. So, and we hope to carry that ceremony on Litter Media Radio. There's a reception going on over in Cox Gym. That's where our buddy Butch Atterbury is going to give. He's going to address the crowd that are gathered there, and then if we can get some people up, maybe to fill time before the basketball game starts, we'll try and do that as well. So, all right, that's it for today's program. These two guys are back with you tomorrow here on another edition of Litter Media Live.